Get over here!
How did this conversation start? We were talking about, like, the one video where, like, video where we were talking about, like, what people wanted out of their next Fire Emblem game.
Oh, yeah, we were talking about stories and branch storylines, then we were talking about Shadow the Hedgehog, then we were talking about Sonic and IDW and stuff like that.
We kind of derailed a little bit, didn't we?
Yeah, eventually we were talking about music, and we were talking about vocal tracks, and then we were talking about Persona. Fire Emblem Three Houses also does the, like, main theme and then main theme with a vocal track at the end.
Oh, yeah, they do. You do hear the vocal track at the start, but they do have an instrumental version that plays, like, during, like, very, very major points of the story and, like, boss fights and whatnot, which I also appreciate.
Reach for my hand, I'll soar away. I forget what the... Something. Oh, I wish I could stay.
Ironically, I know the opera song more.
In pleasant homes, in peaceful day, I feel the edge of dawn. Yeah.
Ironically, I know like, freaking God-Shattering Star more than I know the lyrics of that one. Usa verasato.
Ba ba.
Ya ni sanigrai. Use no vado se harira.
Not bad.
Thank you. I haven't done a cover in a while either, but, like, that was more just a for fun thing that I did a little while ago.
I think probably off the top of my head, my favorite vocal track from any game is probably the end of Portal 2.
Oh, Want You Gone.
Yeah, I Want You Gone.
Yeah, I tend to like Still Alive more than Want You Gone, but, like, if you told me one was better than the other or vice versa, I wouldn't say you're wrong.
Yeah.
They're both amazing.
There's a third one, too, at the end of the Portal campaign in LEGO Dimensions.
Excuse me,
There is a third GLaDOS song.
Oh my god.
And it's in LEGO Dimensions.
That's amazing. My favorite vocal track in all video games is easy. It's still Snake Eater.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's freaking Snake Eater. I'm sorry. Dude, when I heard freaking 8-bit, like, the 16-bit Big Band remix that one. Oh, man, dude. I listened to that song on repeat for a good while before, like, in my car when that came out.
Yeah, that's a really good cover.
Speaking of amazing covers, too, like, was it 8-bit Big Band or 16-bit Big Band? I think it's 8-bit.
I think it's 8-bit Big Band.
Yeah. They also did Take Me for a Ride from freaking, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and they put, like, brand new lyrics to it, and all those lyrics are super smart and intelligent and, like, very, very, like, fun references. Like, dude, deepest cut reference of that entire song was, I put on my Sunday best, call me the War Machine. And I'm like, he says that during his Super in Marvel 1? Here's my Sunday best!
Here's my Sunday best.
Oh my god, dude, I heard that lyric and I was like, these guys know what they're doing.
They do one where they do, Still Alive, but they do it in, like, a Frank Sinatra style.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
This is a triumph. I'm making a note here, huge success.
I mean, it's Sinatra. You really can't go wrong with Sinatra.
Rolling Star from Katamari is a good one.
Oh yeah. Like, that was just a funny one. What do you have? An Iron Bow.
I like all the vocal covers in the Bayonetta games, like...
Oh, yeah.
Like Fly Me to the Moon and Moon River.
Fly Me to the Moon, Moon River. Bayonetta 3 had, oh, man. Bayonetta 3 had a really good one. Whispers of Destiny. I think that's a original one, maybe.
Okay.
I don't remember if that's a cover or anything.
I haven't played it yet. It's still sitting on the shelf. It's on the backlog, which I've been much better at getting through.
Another really good example of, like, really, really good vocal work came from Supergiant Games. Like, dude, their portrayal of Orpheus.
Yeah, all of Orpheus' songs are bangers.
Yeah, absolutely. Dude, like, I think, like, the most popular one is definitely, what was it called again? It's the one that Eurydice and Orpheus sing together. Regrets?
Good Riddance.
Good Riddance, thank you. Yeah, Good Riddance is, like, the most popular one. Personally, I prefer the Lament of Orpheus.
Yeah, there's the Lament of Orpheus, then there's Good Riddance that they sing together, and...
In the Blood.
Which
plays during the credits, which is great.
Yeah.
And, like, hey, another example of, hey, here's a instrumental version of this. In the Blood is the vocal version of the Hades main theme.
Yeah. Also, if you don't want to do main theme and then a vocal version, if you do main theme and then an epic orchestrated version for the final boss, because that's what Kirby Return to Dreamland does, and that's one of my favorite boss tracks of all time.
Absolutely, yes. Freaking Crowned.
Yeah,
amazing.
Crowned is an amazing track.
Absolutely, like, I really have a soft spot for the final boss theme from Kirby Star Allies. But I'd be lying to you if I didn't think that Crowned was a better theme.
Star Allies is a good one, too.
Yeah, I forget what it's called.
I remember Forbidden Land has Approaching the Roche Limits.
Oh, that's a good one, too.
That's a good track.
Absolutely.
And also a good, like... That's a good physics reference. I like that. The Roche Limit is the point in which two celestial bodies are unable to pull away from each other and are going to collide.
Yep. I figured you would get a kick out of that one.
I always wanted to someday have a dog and a cat, and I would name the dog Schrodinger and the cat Pavlov.
Aww.
So that they would be each other's cat and dog.
I love it. That's also one of the reasons why I actually enjoy remakes, because I really, really like listening to, like, oh, this song was, like, from way back when. I can't wait to hear what it sounds like with modernized instruments. That's why I really, really liked what they did in Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah.
I think, like, obviously, like, they did Sephiroth's theme justice. One Winged Angel was so incredibly good in Rebirth. I think my favorite example, though, was Genova Awakened. What they did with Genova's theme was genius in Remake. I don't know if you played it. You played Remake, right?
I played Remake, yeah.
Yeah, you played Remake. You haven't played Rebirth.
No.
Yeah. Nah, dude, like, I lost my mind when I was fighting Genova in Remake. Wow, what an amazing fight.
Wait, that's in Remake, not Rebirth?
Yeah, Remake.
When do you fight Genova in Remake?
When you go up the tower. Before you fight Rufus Shinra.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, like, you hear a very, very slow version of Genova's theme for the first two phases, and then the acid starts raining down, and then you start hearing those similar instruments, and then Genova's theme goes in full force, and it's a full-on orchestrated, like, track.
In my brain, I was just thinking of when you fight Sephi at the end.
Oh, okay. No. That's a different fight.
When Sephi, like, absorbs the, like, other timeline into his sword, or whatever the hell is going on there.
We haven't gotten to that point yet. So... we'll see where that leads. Speaking of, actually, that's another thing that I will say engaged it really well. The trials of the different emblems.
Yeah.
A lot of really, really good themes there.
Yeah, there's some good remixes.
Like, I loved hearing Micaiah's theme. I loved hearing Ike's theme, which, by the way, is a mix of both Eternal Bond and the battle theme for Path of Radiance, which is really cool. What are some other... There's just so many really, really good ones.
Yeah, there's some good fan service there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is pure fan service, but it's good fan service. I'm not going to complain about that.
Yeah. Yeah, fan service doesn't win a game over for me, but, like, it's a good plus.
When you have good moments of it, it's really, really cool.
Yeah. Like Kirby Star Allies has amazing fan service in it, and I just sadly think it's, like, not one of the better Kirby games in recent memory.
Yeah. Like,
but the fan service is really good.
Oh, it absolutely is, and of course, like, freaking, you got plenty of it also in Forgotten Land. But Forgotten Land doesn't sacrifice, like, its integrity as a really, really good game, like, in spite of that, which I appreciate a lot.
Star Allies also had so many references that, like, you kind of had to, like, pull it back after for Forgotten Land. Like, there wouldn't be anywhere... You couldn't top that as far as how much fan service Star Allies has. I mean...
Yeah.
There's all these, like, playable characters in the DLC that are... characters from every single Kirby game.
Yeah, and that gets to the point, and that's like the thing that gets to the point where, okay, like this is the reason, this is the idea, this is the point of Star Allies, which, you know, I'm not gonna fault them for.
Star Allies almost feels like an anniversary game the same way Engage is a Fire Emblem anniversary game. Star Allies feels like it would be a Kirby anniversary game of like, here's stuff from every other mainline thing.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Star Allies, I think, is, like, good enough to, like, just be that.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Engage is just a little bit lacking for me, but...
Yeah. Oh, wow. I can't believe I didn't bring this up, too. Like, another game that does justice when it comes to just, you know, remixing music, the Smash Brothers series.
Oh, yeah, that's, like, almost...
That's like the best example.
That's almost not fair to
it isn't.
mention.
It isn't.
Because...
But it's like, when I'm listening to a theme, like, when I'm listening to Vega's theme from Street Fighter, remixed by freaking Yoko goddamn Shimomura, I'm going to have some bias.
Yeah, like, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is the best soundtrack in any video game because it's also the largest.
It is. Like, I will fully acknowledge it's not a fair comparison.
Yeah.
What do you have? You got a Devil Axe. You have a Rune Sword and a Steel Blade and a Blue Gem, which we want. Steel Bow, Short Bow. I wish I could kind of, like, check what these guys did over here. But I feel like Erica's fine. Like, if we can have her bait, then we can just have Artur just light him up.
Yeah, I think that's a good move. Did you know that, Super Smash Bros. Brawl, they wrote a remix for that game of the forest theme from Super Mario RPG, but they didn't use it?
Really?
But it was supposed to be in Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Yeah, there was a you can find it online.
Oh, wow. I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, but for whatever reason, they didn't actually put it in the game.
That tells me that maybe they were speculating putting Geno in the game?
Yeah, or like maybe they planned to use the song, but they didn't know if they had the rights to it.
Yeah. That stinks. Speaking of remakes, Super Mario RPG remake. Really, really good remake.
Yeah.
And... goddamn, Culex. Culex's theme.
Yeah, I really like...
Oof!
I like how they have him pixely in the one fight, and then you had to get the rematch with him to get your remake Culex.
Oh my dude. They did him justice. Oh my god, I love doing that whole side quest.
That was a lot of work for a Steel Lance.
Yeah, seriously though. I mean, but what are you gonna do? We got 2 more chests to open, and Ross can actually steal this guy's chest keys, so...
Yeah.
We just need to get one of them up here. I'm probably going to give that one key to, like, maybe, Loot.
Yeah, Loot will get over there faster.
Mm-hmm. And we can kind of just, like, work on this.
I wish they were... I really like how they had, like, boss rematches and stuff in Super Mario RPG.
Mm-hmm.
The remake. I wish they were doing that for 1,000 Year Door. Because I'm probably going to pick up the remake, but I wish there was a little bit new that was in it.
Damn, Artur. Yeah, do they not... Like, you're not going to be able to rematch any of the bosses?
I don't think so.
Yeah, that would be cool, which, like...
I know they, like, streamlined the warp system.
Yeah, that is one thing. They do allow you to fight the bosses in Super Mario RPG Remake. Now that you mention that,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
like there's an option for it,
and there's like
Reward.
harder rematches.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't think if that's in Thousand Year Door, they haven't like announced that it is, and that just came out today.
Yeah, which I need to pick up.
I feel like they would have said by now.
That is fair, or at the very least, someone like mad gamers out there. You know, someone out there's already speedrunning this crap.
Yeah.
Probably would have like posted it online at some point.
Yeah, there's a slightly better warp room, and they made it easier to like toggle through your partners.
Oh yeah, I remember.
On the map
I remember seeing
instead
that.
of having to pause every time to go into. Yeah.
All right, Artur. Let's not get hurt too much here. We'll have Natasha heal you up later. Yeah, regardless, I'm looking forward to replaying Thousand Year Door because, man, oh man, that's a great game.
Yeah. Thousand Year Door has been trending for other reasons.
Yeah, which, if I may say,
Yeah.
good for her.
I'm very excited.
Absolutely.
I'm very excited about Vivian.
Like, that's awesome. I'm glad to see that.
Yeah.
Let them be happy, people.
Yeah, there's
some
really stupid discourse over it.
It's so dumb. Like, like we don't want to talk about it too much, mind you, because like it's probably very, very obvious where John and I stand on that. Go ahead.
I think a lot of people are. So I won't say. How do I want to say this? Okay, so
yeah, this is one of those issues.
So people are happy because in the Remake's English localization, Vivian is trans.
Yes.
Now, is she trans? Really, that's the argument.
Yeah.
But like, she is now a girl using female pronouns who wants to be seen as a girl.
Yeah.
And her older sisters are treating her like she's a boy.
Yeah.
So that, like, in our 2024 gender politics here in America view is trans.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of argument over what the intent of the original script was. In the original Japanese, they refer to her as a word we don't really have in English, but basically as a femboy.
Yeah.
If you were, that they were saying that Vivian was a very effeminate male, but like... And that's kind of what a lot of people are like screenshotting to say like, oh, this new localization is wrong.
Yeah.
But like, first of all, one, the old localization was really wrong because it didn't address this at all. It just like made her a girl and like changed all of her problems with her sisters.
They put a big lampshade over it.
Yeah, where like they just like called her ugly. Like they didn't. Yeah, 2004. Nintendo of America did not want to touch this.
Yeah. Which, on the one hand, I get, but on the other hand, I don't, for a reason I'll get into in a bit, but go for it.
Yeah, I don't want to argue against what they did in 2004, because that's in the past. That's not where I want to point my energy.
Yeah.
So the thing is, people are, like, screen capturing the, like, direct translation of the, like, Vivian's description from the original Japanese early 2000s game, which uses a word that roughly translates to femboy to say, oh, Vivian's not a trans woman, she is an effeminate boy. And I think that's missing out on so much nuance of what translation is, because if you look at the original Japanese script of the entire game,
yeah,
I personally think it's pretty hard to not interpret Vivian as somebody who sees herself as a girl but is being told otherwise. So like Vivian is still the same character.
Yeah.
And the thing everybody's having trouble with is really just semantics. And I think we need to understand that using words like trans and femboy and stuff is different in the US than it is in Japan.
Yeah.
We're all having cultural conversations about gender, and they're happening differently in Japan than they're happening here. But it is no way inaccurate to say in this 2024 English localization that Vivian is a trans girl.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody says that and you say they're wrong, like, no, they're not.
Yeah.
That is Occam's razor, like, the clearest way, I think, to translate this.
Yeah. And here's the thing, like, it's one of those things where it's like, so this, like, I don't really fly with the whole narrative behind this for 3 reasons. One, it's one of those situations where it's like, people just want to be mad. Like, honestly, like, people are just finding a reason to be mad. Ooh, okay, I'll take that. Yeah, people just want to be mad. People are just trying to be mad, and at the end of the day, they're just trying to be smarter than they really are. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Yeah.
If you don't like something, or you don't like a way something is interpreted, you don't have to engage with it. You don't have to talk about it. You don't have to bring attention to it. You can play through the entirety of Thousand Year Door, ignore that one detail that maybe you like or don't like for whatever reason, and just play the game, and it's not going to make the game any better or worse for it.
Because I think the only reason I think you could have a problem with this is if you don't like trans people.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's the case, then this conversation was never about Paper Mario.
Yeah. Which, by the way, gets into the second reason. Like, some people are pulling the censorship card. I'm just gonna say right now, first of all, this is an uncensorship.
Yeah.
They are going back and, like, restoring the original translation.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna complain about the uncensorship or the censorship of this and that and, like, whatnot, Stellar Blade is right there, and that was as much of a nothing burger as this is. Just gonna say that right now.
I haven't really been following Stellar Blade.
It's the whole, like, censor, like, they promised uncensorship or no censorship, but then they had to change something last minute before, like...
It was, like, a lot of butt.
The
game
no.
was, like, a lot of butt.
Okay. So,
I'm sorry, I'm making you get into it.
No,
I literally don't know.
Let's... How do I put this? Not the butt. The other thing.
Okay.
And there was a little bit too much detail down there.
Okay.
And the developers were like, no, this is probably not kosher. And, like, a big man upstairs, like, the directors were like, no, we can't have this, sorry guys. And, like, we gotta change it, we're gonna get in trouble otherwise.
Yeah.
And it was the tiniest thing. It was such the tiniest, most inconsequential thing. To the point where it's like, no, this isn't about censorship. This is about you really want an excuse to be horny. Okay?
I mean, the images still exist on the internet, guys.
Exactly. That's one thing. And the other thing, like, this is the most inconsequential example of quote-unquote censorship. That, like, look, censorship in the context of betraying a character's, like, original intent. That I have a problem with. Changing the original creator's intent. That I have a problem with when it comes to censorship.
Yeah.
Changing something visually to the most minor extent that, like, it's so inconsequential. It's basically the Skullgirls argument again. No, you're not really doing this for that. You just want an excuse here.
See, specifically, like, that is censorship, technically. This is what's called constituent censorship, which is when nobody told you had to make this change. Instead, you changed something you owned or you're presenting because you're afraid of how people might receive it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't, like, affect the age rating of the game, but you're afraid of how it would go over with people.
Exactly. Not just go over with people, go over with certain litigations.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you know, this is something that people can legitimately get in trouble with, and if you're a smart developer, that's a battle you do not want to fight.
Yeah. Like, in Danganronpa.
Yeah.
In Danganronpa, all the blood is pink.
Yeah.
Which actually, this is a bit of a common misconception. They didn't make the blood pink to get away with it more.
Yeah.
That was actually more a stylistic choice because they liked how it looked. However, doing that also helped them keep the age rating of the game down, which made it easier for them to sell as a product.
It was essentially a happy accident.
Yeah, so that is constituent censorship.
Yeah.
That is making a choice to change your work to do with your work what you want to do with it. And, I mean, there are examples of, like, this can be used very politically. You can be like, oh, well, I don't want to, like... If, like, you wrote a book, and the book had, like, anti-conservative talking points in it, and you might be like, oh, well, I know I want to advertise this on this one talk show, and this one talk show is very conservative, so I'm going to take these talking points out now, otherwise they might not let me on their show. That would be an example of constituent censorship.
Yeah.
And, like, I think that's fine. I think that's just, like, freedom of the press is still working. You might be able to say, like, oh, that's kind of crappy that, like, they wouldn't let you advertise it on their show if it said this, but, like, it's their show. They can pick what they put on it.
Yep. And people are going to bring up the broken promises thing. They advertised, like, the false advertising thing, like, where it's like, oh, we promised no censorship, but then they had to do something. Like, if they had to do it, there's nothing they can do, guys. Like, it's out of their hands. And again, it was just so unbelievably inconsequential that it was nothing. It was just so nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
I will say I literally don't know what I'm talking about because Oscar's just telling me about it now.
Yeah, but
I don't know the situation that well.
And the third thing that, like, relates to what you were saying, like, before we get into finish this fight, right, is this is the Bridget debacle all over again. Like, your problem is not a change of the writing or a change of the character or a betrayal of the character or whatever. Your problem is that you have an issue with trans representation if you actually have an issue with this. Especially because, like, the writers made it this way for a reason.
Yeah.
They the creator of Guilty Gear made Bridget like this. This is her story for a reason. They wanted to do this.
Yeah.
They wanted to uncensor Vivian. Who are we to argue with what the creators wanted to do and wanted to present to us?
Yeah, like, I don't know Bridget as well. I don't know Guilty Gear that well. I know Thousand Year Door very well.
Yeah.
And I can say with relative certainty that you're not going to find the writers commenting on what they intended for Vivian. So we just need to take the text as it is.
Yep.
And I would encourage people not to, if they're saying, like, well, the original Japanese script says this, I would encourage them not to just take that screenshot of, like, the literal description of her, because literally that's from 20 years ago. Of course, the gender politics are going to be a little different.
Yeah, very.
2, if you actually play the whole game in the original Japanese translation, she's talking about feeling uncomfortable with her identity all the time.
Yep.
She literally says, I have the body of a feminine boy, but the heart of a cute girl. That is the most trans thing I've ever heard, and it's in the original Japanese script.
And to bring...
Get out of here.
And to bring the point home, right? Birdo is right there!
Yeah, Birdo's...
You guys haven't had an issue with her!
I think people have had an issue
Okay,
with
people
Birdo,
have had an
actually.
issue with her. But it's like, you know, if you're gonna cry foul, Birdo is right there.
Yeah.
Alright? This is nothing new for Nintendo. Alright? They've had this rhetoric for years. And they've gotten better about it, so let them.
Yeah, I'd say the thing with Birdo is less to, like, create a trans character and more to stop creating an openly transphobic character. Like, Nintendo's not out there saying, like, look at Birdo, she's trans. They previously said Birdo's a guy, and now they're saying Birdo's a girl.
Yeah, which,
And
like, again...
they have nothing else they want to say about it.
Which, you know, if that's how they want to put it and they want to leave it up to the audience's interpretation, great!
Yeah.
My interpretation? She's trans, and I'm proud of her.
Yeah.
Again, I was one of those guys who was an idiot who, like, took it badly, but I grew up and I was like, you know what? I think Birdo's a queen, and I stand by that opinion now.
I mean, the first time I played Thousand Year Door, I had no idea of this other translation that was changed, so...
I'm honestly glad to hear about it now.
I'm certain it doesn't affect your enjoyment of the game.
Vivian's a queen. Like, Vivian's a queen, one way or another. I thought she was cute when I first played Thousand Year Door. I still think she's cute now.
She's still cute.
She's very cute. Who are we going to, like... Are we really going to go so serious into the gender politics of someone who's essentially a ghost?
I mean, this is Nintendo staying out of the gender politics, really.
Yeah, let's leave it at that, people. And on that note, next time, the Lagdou Ruins, 4th floor. What do we got here, actually, now that I think about it? Okay, I like this better. This is something that we can control a bit more, but please tell me that none of these demons...
Demon Surge, there's... Okay, there's
They have some stone. They have some stuff. I just don't want... I don't want Shadow Shot.
Yeah.
As long as we don't have Shadow Shot on this map, I'm fine.
This might be a good one for Gilliam, then.
This will be a good one for Gilliam. This will be a good one for Inez.
Yeah.
So let's get them some level ups. Yeah, it doesn't look like we have a single Shadow Shot, so we should be fine here.
Alright.
Whew, alright guys, thank you for joining us. I'm the Green Scorpion.
I'm the Comic Foil.
Trans rights are human rights.
Yeah, sorry for bringing the hot bomb of gender politics to your channel, but...
Dude, like, I will eat that mushroom every day of the week if it means that we can have some good conversations.
If you don't stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything, so...